Hey, I'll give you 100 grand right now if you can serve me in Chinese. The man's voice cut through the restaurant like a blade. Laughter followed. Every head turned toward the young black waitress standing frozen beside his table. He thought he was making a joke, but what she said next made the entire room stop breathing. It was a busy Friday afternoon at the Blue Orchid Bistro, the kind of place where suits clinked glasses and laughter felt expensive. The air smelled of butter, wine, and polished wood. Waiters weaved between tables, and every seat was full. At table 7 sat Charles Whitmore, a man who thought the world revolved around his success. His voice was the kind that never whispered, it demanded attention. A millionaire entrepreneur. Self-made, he often said, though most suspected otherwise. His colleagues leaned. And as he told another loud story about his world, travels, and private jet lifestyle, the kind of talk that filled empty souls with noise. Then came Amina. She approached with her order pad pressed to her chest, her dark hair tied back, her smile gentle. Her uniform was crisp, but modest, faded slightly from too many washes. She had that look of quiet endurance, the kind that made people underestimate her. Charles noticed her immediately. He always noticed people he thought were beneath him. "Well, look at that," he said, smirking. "We're getting some international service today." His friends laughed. Amina only smiled, professional, calm. "What can I get for you, sir?" she asked politely. Charles leaned back, theatrically tapping his fingers on the table. "You know, I just came back from Beijing," he said loudly, ensuring the tables nearby could hear. "Tell you what, sweetheart, I'll make you a deal." He pulled a sleek money clip from his jacket, peeled off a stack of bills so thick it looked unreal. "I'll give you $100,000 cash if you can serve me in Chinese. His voice dripped with mockery. The laughter from his table erupted, but Amina didn't flinch. The room went quiet, everyone listening, waiting for her to stutter, to walk away, to fail. Amina stood perfectly still. Only her hands moved, one resting on her apron, the other brushing the silver pendant around her neck. It was engraved with delicate characters, 9 of them, each from a different language. Her father had given it to her when she was 16. Her heart thudded once, calm and steady. Then she spoke. Her voice, smooth and clear, rolled through the restaurant in perfect Mandarin Chinese. "Would you like tea or water?" The laughter died instantly. Charles blinked. The words hung in the air like music he couldn't understand. Amina didn't wait for applause. She simply stood there, poised and professional, as if what she had just done was ordinary. But inside, a storm of memories stirred. Years before, Amina had been the pride of her small community. The girl who learned languages from library books and YouTube videos while helping her mother clean offices at night. Her dream was to become a UN translator, to connect worlds through words. She'd earned a scholarship to study linguistics abroad. But just weeks before she was meant to leave, her father suffered a sudden illness. The bills came faster than the diagnosis. So Amina stayed. She worked double shifts. She gave up her dream to keep her family afloat. She learned something powerful in those years. The world doesn't always reward kindness. Her father had said, "But that doesn't mean you stop giving it." Now, standing before a man who tried to humiliate her for sport, she felt that truth burning quietly inside her. Charles tried to laugh it off. "Cute," he said. "You memorized a line. Good for you." But Amina didn't respond. Instead, she began listing their order in fluent French. Then she turned to a couple at the next table and greeted them warmly in Italian, before switching effortlessly to Spanish. To confirm their side dish, the restaurant grew silent except for her voice, a symphony of languages, flowing one into another like rivers meeting the sea. She spoke Arabic, German, Japanese, and finally Swahili, each word crisp, natural, and beautiful. 9 languages. 9. The same number engraved on her pendant. The millionaire's arrogance melted. His smirk collapsed into disbelief. His hands, once proud and commanding, fidgeted on the table. His colleagues shifted uncomfortably, their laughter turned to shame. And Amina? She stood tall, her voice steady but gentle. She didn't mock him back. She didn't raise her tone. Her silence between sentences spoke louder than his entire fortune. When she finished taking their order, she looked him in the eyes and said calmly, softly, "Respect doesn't need translation." The words struck like thunder wrapped in velvet. A few people clapped quietly. Then more joined. And soon, the whole restaurant stood in quiet applause, not loud, not mocking, just sincere human acknowledgement. Charles lowered his head. For the first time in years, he had nothing to say. The stack of cash still sat on the table, now looking like paper compared to her dignity. He pushed it toward her. She shook her head. "No, sir," she said softly. "Keep it. You might need it to buy some humility." Then she turned and walked away, her posture regal, her eyes calm. The applause followed her, not for the performance, but for the poise. Someone recorded it. Within hours, the video was everywhere. The waitress who spoke 9 languages. Millionaire. Humbled. Respect doesn't need translation. Comments flooded in from around the world. People cried, cheered, reflected. A teacher in Kenya shared the video with her students. A journalist in France called it the most graceful revenge ever caught on camera. And one message stood out from an international humanitarian organization. They wanted Amina to lead their global language and cultural exchange program. Her dream, once lost, had found its way back, carried by the wings of her own grace. Months later, she returned to the Blue Orchid, not as a waitress, but as a guest of honor. The restaurant now displayed a framed quote near the entrance. "Respect doesn't need translation. Kindness speaks every language." It had her name beneath it. The same millionaire, Charles, came quietly one afternoon. No entourage, no laughter. He approached her with humility. "You taught me something I'll never forget," he said quietly. "I thought money spoke every language." But I was wrong. Amina smiled not with pride, but peace. "It's never too late to learn," she said. "The world doesn't change through arguments or arrogance. It changes through grace, through moments when one person chooses calm over chaos, dignity over ego." Amina's story became a living reminder that silence can be stronger than shouting, and humility louder than wealth. Grace is strength under control. The quietest person in the room often has the loudest truth. Respect once given freely can change hearts forever. So, wherever you are watching from, remember this. Your worth isn't measured by what people see, but by how you rise when they try to diminish you. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to be reminded of their own quiet power, and subscribe for more stories that honor those who win with dignity, not noise.